Hey you guys, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Freewell sent me these magnetic variable ND filters, first ever in the world to be created, and gave me these to review, but no, I'm not being paid by them. So these are my honest, raw thoughts about it. But yeah, I can just say right off the bat that I have been blown away by how convenient these are to use and the quality of their build. So let's hop straight into it. I think that as a filmmaker, it's important to be able to save time on set, but also get quality out of the equipment that you're using. And so that's a lot of what I'm gonna be talking about today. I use them in my most recent short film that you can check out on my wildlife photography YouTube channel. I'll send a link in the description below. But yeah, it was an amazing product and I was super happy with how it just enhanced my experience and just brought quality to the experience of that short film. And convenience, like I said. So let's dive into this first. I did want to just show you guys what it comes with really quick. So it comes with this really awesome pouch, really nice and portable. So really easy for me to take out. Portability is a huge thing. Inside it separates out and you got all the different filters. So it'll come with the base mount. I don't know if that's what it's technically called, but the base mount right here. So it'll come with this part, and what you do is you'll throw either the base filter or the mist filter in the middle. So currently I have the base filter in, but just to show you a little bit about it, you have this, screws into the camera with the threads, and then everything else from this point on is magnetic. So this base filter just boom, snaps right in there, and it's ready to go. And then what you do from there is you throw your ND filters on top of either the base or the mist filter. So that was the base filter. This is my mist filter. And then you have a 2 to 5 ND stops, variable ND stops. And then you have a 6 to 9 VND stops, as well as a lens cap. All magnetic. So that's what comes inside the Freewell box. But let's talk a little bit about the quality of the filters first. So I was super happy with the quality of the build features on this thing. First of all, I think most importantly, being the world's first ever magnetic variable ND filter, is that the magnetism is strong. It's nice and strong. It doesn't ever feel like, no matter how hard I shake my camera, those things will never fall off. And so I really appreciate that about this. I was a little bit worried and I guess skeptical that maybe like with a lot of movement, it might shake off with a lot of jerking, but it stays on there really strong. And also with the magnetism, it's very simple to see where things connect. Like it kind of naturally puts itself into place correctly. So I really appreciated the magnetism and those kind of mechanics of how this worked. Beyond that, everything pieces together really well. So it makes sense how the thread, you put the base or the mist filter in the middle first, and then you attach the ND filters on top. So I appreciated just how nicely all that fits together. But then lastly, and maybe most importantly about the build quality, is that the sharpness isn't lost. That's one of those things that I guess with throwing pieces of glass in front of my lens elements, I'm always really scared and skeptical of. But with this filter system, I didn't notice any loss in sharpness, and which is pretty important to me, I guess, in a lot of the stuff that I do. With the mist filter, we'll talk about that in a bit, but the mist filter does kind of flatten the image a little bit for the effect that it's giving, but you don't lose sharpness in there. So there's a distinct, I guess, distinction between those two things. Now, in terms of the color shifts, all filters are going to come with some sort of a color shift. However, I wanted to say that for the majority of the set, I really actually didn't notice much of a color shift at all, like a tint shift or anything like that. It was pretty dang close to what I was expecting. If anything, I would say maybe slightly green towards the tint shift, but very little, if anything. Like it was virtually unnoticeable. The one filter that I did notice a color shift in was that the mist filter seemed to get things quite a bit warmer. So it did seem to shift more towards the warm side of the temperature spectrum. But beyond that, I really didn't notice any different things about the tint shifts or the color shifts in these filters. Now, going back to what I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, the mist filter does flatten it a lot, but I was having a super fun time with this. I think that this was actually my first time using a mist filter, and I'm completely sold on this. Like in the right scenarios, I think that these things give beautiful effects to your imagery. It gave the image just a much more mystical feel, a little bit more of a cloudy feel, really fit certain scenarios nice. So when I was coming out in sunrise during the morning of this short film, it just felt right. Like it felt like it matched the mood and gave much more of an ambience and a hopeful surrounding to it. And so I loved the way that light was being captured by the mist filter. The mist filter, like I said, does seem to bring up the shadows a little bit and darken the highlights a little bit, which is also useful if you're shooting in very, I guess, bright scenarios where you're getting front front lip subjects and wanting to kind of flatten that out a little bit. Give a little bit more HDR, I guess, almost even, kind of artificially. But I really like that about it. But beyond that, when you're capturing light, what I did notice about the mist filter is that if you're looking straight into a backlit, I guess, light source, it doesn't seem to capture that very well. But if you're slightly off to the side, it seems to get that kind of like that glow and that lens flare almost from unique and different angles that aren't directly on it, versus typically you need to be directly on that light source. So it was kind of interesting playing with that and seeing how that works. But yeah, overall, I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot, enjoyed my experience with it. The color shift for this mist filter was the one that was unique. It did tend to color shift towards the warmer temperature of the color spectrum. So that was the one thing I noticed about this. Again, all the other filters didn't seem to have very much, if any, of a noticeable tint, but the mist filter did seem to kind of shift towards the warmer side in my experience. I'm not giving scientific knowledge here. I'm not doing actual tests, but that's just from my experience being out in the field and kind of what I was seeing as opposed to normal when I was removing that filter, taking it off, putting it back on, so on and so forth. So in my experience, this is an amazing filter pack. I think for the world's first ever VND, this was definitely needed. I mean, I think as filmmakers, we save so much time on set when we have things that just work like that and are really nice and easy to use, quick to set up, boom, boom, boom. And this definitely provided that convenience and quality all in the same package. My thought was that it was great. It's definitely something that is now permanently in my camera bag and I'm taking everywhere with me for everything that I do. And I think it just allows so much more versatility in the way that I shoot things, being able to always match the 180-degree shutter rule, especially considering I do a lot of shooting outdoors. And so that gives me so much more versatility. But the mist versus base filters are just awesome pieces of equipment that really give a lot of fun effects to play towards as cinematic creators. So if you guys enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe below. You guys can also support me if you're interested in purchasing this product by using my affiliate link below. They're doing a crowdfunding campaign to launch this product. Go support them, go check it out. It's gonna be cheaper than it ever will be once they release it publicly and once it's actually being sold. So definitely get your hands on it, purchase it now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks Freewell for creating an awesome, amazing product. And I can't wait to see you guys around soon.